I'm going to be talking about time management for construction. And more importantly, the whole point of it is so that we can start 2026 off at full speed, full sprint, 100 miles an hour with a clear plan to get to where we need to get. I want to tell you this thing that I'm going to be talking about. This is just a webinar. I'm going to be walking you through what the self-first time management framework is, because a whole bunch of other people, I think it's about 50 people now, have been through the thing and they have experienced some value from it, as in it has helped them in their journey climbing the mountain of time mastery. And I'm Jesse. And the stuff that I'm going to walk you through today is the things that I figured out, fumbled through, wrestled with over, who knows, 10, 15 years, and kind of picked and pulled and brought some pieces together that help me manage my business. They've helped me manage teams across multiple states, like nationwide, help me launch a book, manage a podcast. There's a bazillion things that I'm involved with, probably too many. But because of this system, the self-first framework, I've been able to do it and like not lose my sanity. And more importantly, I've been able to do it in such a way that delivers value for other people, and value to a degree that I never could have anticipated. Now, what I want to be like, help you understand, I want to give you a takeaway, like something that's super powerful, and not just from my own personal perspective, because it's very easy for me to get lost in what I value, what I care about, and what brings me the most happiness. It's the one thing that I hear over and over again from people that have been through the workshop. And it is the breaking down or the separation of three elements when it comes to time management or planning. And so here we go. I'm going to show it to you right now. Here is the key thing. Like, I would love for you to sign up for the workshop and come and hang out with us for half a day and take advantage of the follow-up calls, the support reinforcement calls, and the online community. And I would also love if you would put this into practice and start thinking about things this way, because I know it will help you. So when we think about time management, I want you to think about in three buckets: plan, commit, and execute. And that is exactly how this framework and how the workshop is broken up. It is broken up into three separate buckets. One is plan. And when we're thinking about planning, we're thinking about long-term perspective. Now, long is a relative concept, right? When I first started planning, way back in the day, when I had my tools on and I was transitioning the foreman role, planning meant like next week. It wasn't a very long time horizon. But over the years, I got to like 3 months, and then I got to a year, and now I'm like 5, 10, 500 year plans, you know? And so I don't want you to get caught up in like, how long is long? Like, just as like long is just relative to you. If you've never planned for a quarter, think about it in terms of a quarter. If you've never planned for a year, think about it in terms of a year, whatever makes sense for you. But ultimately, the key thing is, when we think about planning, it's really just, we're going to be thinking through what we want to learn, achieve, contribute, finish, etc. That is one bucket. That is one framework from which to be thinking. What typically happens to us is we sit down to start planning and brainstorming, right, long term, and then we want to get into committing, putting it in our calendar, seeing how much time we have to do it, and then we do that. And then we start playing around like, okay, when can I do it? What am I going to do? And then it's like, well, I could start right now. And then we get into execution. Man, don't do that. Separate the things. You sit down and plan, and that's all you're going to do is plan. Once you get the planning out of your head and you get some weight to all the things that you have, and you give it some priority, which I'm going to walk you through here in a second, then you want to go to committing, which is putting it on your calendar, finding some space. Where normally what happens is when we get to the commitment part of the workshop, we find out real quick, like, man, I ain't got no time in my calendar. And there's all this junk in there that's really not helpful. We're going to dive into that. Once you commit, that's a total separate way of thinking, maybe even a different tool, or at least in Jesse land, it is 3 different tools. Then we get into execution. We've got the plan out of our head. We've figured out how to manage our calendars. We're gotten better at managing our calendars. Then we get into daily execution. Key point, one more time, those are 3 separate buckets. And so if the workshop's not your flavor and I'm not your flavor, sit down and do that. When you sit down to plan for next year, maybe you've already done it. Just think about what you want to accomplish, what you want to learn. Don't worry about your calendar. Don't worry about how much stuff you already have going on. And don't worry about what you got to get done today. Just give yourself a chunk of time to focus on planning. Once you get that out of your head, then you want to plug it into your calendar and see where it fits and figure out how to make space. And once it's in your calendar, you're set up for daily execution, because then you just go through your calendar and say, okay, this is what I'm going to get done today. This is what I'm going to get done tomorrow. Da, 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 da. So one more time, overarching idea here is the whole framework, the self-first framework, is about separating plan, commit, and execute. Now, I've called it time management, and my buddy Sean Moran just the other day kind of called me out. He's like, Jesse, you call it time management, but I hear you say like there's no such thing as time management. It's about self-management. Like, yep, 100%. And so I got to give you a warning. If you sign up for the workshop, for all the people that actually sign up for the workshop, be warned. Like my sister, Miss Stephanie Brown, says with Intelligent Construction Opportunities, this is more than just time management. This is about getting honest with yourself. And when I talk about getting honest with yourself, what I'm talking about is really coming to terms of how overcommitted you are as an individual. And I know you're a make it happener. So naturally you're overcommitted, you're taking on more tasks, you're ambitious, and you want to grow your career and make things happen for everybody around you. But you know what? You're human. And so you need to carve out some time for you and make yourself a priority. And that's kind of the root of this whole framework. Is I was able to look at my life and see that I had this whole big, nice list of goals that I hadn't made any progress on. All of the ones that were related to my career, to my the community, to other people, man, I kicked butt. But when it came to the things that I really, really cared about that really didn't affect other people, guess what? I never made any progress on them because I was failing to make myself a priority. And here's the problem. When I'm not taking care of me and not making myself a priority, I'm not doing the best job I can to serve others. And so this whole self-first framework is about how to make yourself a priority. Now, I've already given you the 3, like the big bucket, the big, big, big rock. Plan, commit, execute. When you're doing long-term planning, you just want to think about planning. What are you going to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to learn? What do you want to accomplish? You're not worried about scheduling. Then you get into scheduling. That's the commitment part. After you go through the commitment part, then you get into daily execution. 3 totally separate functions. So I know that in itself, thinking about it that way is a gigantic, gigantic help. Now, if you want to learn more, I'm going to give you a little bit more, little oversight of what this workshop is, and give you some clarity specifically around what the planning phase of the workshop is. And so here we go. We start with guilt-free future planning. And again, this is just about getting all of the stuff out of your head. So all the things you plan to start by now, but haven't, with regard to your business, personal growth, professional growth, meaningful connections like relationships, those things are pretty damn important. Get those things out of your head. What skills do you want to build? Do you want to learn a new language? Do you want to exercise more? Do you want to run more? Do you want to spend more time with your kids? All of those things, you're not alone. A bunch of us struggle to actually commit the time to do those things. And those things give you fuel, right? And then there's other things that you know you got to get done. You started building that shed and the tree house and you haven't finished it. And you got to pick that up again, or you're into yoga and you want to get that up again, or you want to get that new certification that you started but haven't finished. You want to get that done again. So in the guilt-free future planning, what we're focused on is when it comes to the world, forget about them. We're going to think about you. We're going to get all of your big plans and ideas out of your head. Because once we get them out of our head, then it's like, oh, okay, they're not as big and scary as they used to be. And now what we want to do is give them some weight. And what we use to give your big plans and ideas some weight is the damn matrix. And what we're doing is weighing all of those ideas that you have, all of those things that you want to like get done and accomplish in 2026. And we're weighing them based on impact and effort. The highest impact things, guess what? We want to do those first. low impact and it's going to take a lot of effort, maybe we don't need to do that. But ultimately, it's just, one, we're going to neutralize all these things that are bringing us stress and angst that we beat ourselves up about because we haven't done anything about them. Get them out of our head, look at them like objectively, and then we're going to put them in the damn matrix so we can gauge them or rate them based on impact and effort. And once we've done that, then we walk the plank and we say one at a time, which one are we going to do first? Which one are we going to do second? Which one are we going to do third? That is planning. All we're doing is getting it out of our head so we can visually see it. We're giving them weight so that we can evaluate really where should we apply our effort and actually start to build momentum. And then we're prioritizing which one we're going to do first. Now, it looks like we got a question from a super awesome human being. So let's see what my sister's got. Miss Angel, curious idealist, she says, what if I have things planned on paper, prioritize, but then prioritize other things anyway? You know what? No judgment, sister. That's the beautiful thing about this is whatever your plan is, that's okay, right? Meaning, I've done this many times. So when I'll give you an example. When I do my quarterly planning or my annual planning, at that time and moment, right, in that moment, in real time, my prioritization is based on all the facts that I have access to. And, maybe a little bit of imagination, because I always make big ideas seem smaller and they're way bigger than what I think they are. As we go into the future and start executing and doing things, guess what? I have more intel, I've got more facts, I got more data. So the prioritization or the sequence might have to change. And it's my plan. So guess what? I get to change it. Like the issue is not to worry about, resequencing. The real thing that we want to worry about is actually making progress on the thing or starting the things that we want to start. Will other things come up? 100%, absolutely. Why? Because life keeps on lifing. So you get a free pass to do that thing. And this system is built so that you can do that and objectively view and review and come back and calibrate as necessary based on your life circumstances. So love the question. And she says, Miss Angel says, we'll have to catch up, Jesse. It's been a while and a lot has changed. I know, you know what? You're right. We absolutely need to catch up. I will hit you up, girl, because I know you've had some major things going on. And I'm actually pretty damn excited to see you here. So, all right, folks, we've talked about the future planning. The next phase of the evolution that we will go over if you sign up for the workshop, right, is strategically selfish scheduling. And it's the next phase because we want to, again, this is like 2026. The year is right ahead of us. Do you want another repeat of what you've been experiencing, or do you want to have a different outcome? If you want to have a different outcome, I suggest, and I'm biased, I will admit, that you sign up for the workshop. Anyways, strategically selfish scheduling is two things. One, it is becoming aware of how overcommitted we are. And by aware, I mean like actually being able to see and count the things, right? Like, I know that you got a lot going on, and I know that people are bugging the hell out of you, and you have all this pressure and stress because of what you are doing and what, more importantly, what you're not doing. Part of that comes because we really have no context or concept of how overcommitted we are. Meaning, we have the things on our calendar, and then we have all these other things, pick up the kids and go get a haircut and go run and go exercise and swim and read a book, and we don't, like, they're just packed in our head. And so when we get into this strategically selfish scheduling, the framework is designed for us to actually, like, let's just take a real honest, hard look of all of the things that are packed in our head and our schedule. And like, for real, let's look at them. Once we get them out of our head, key point, folks, this is something you don't need to be a part of the workshop for to like start doing, is visualizing and getting all of those things out of your head. Because when they're packed in your head, they bing and bang and bounce around, and they become bigger and scarier than what they actually are. And when you get them out of your head and you can see them, you can count them, you can see like, oh, that's really not as important as this other thing. It'll bring your stress down, and it'll help you do some strategery to like do less of the thing. So In strategically selfish scheduling, of course, you already know how to manage your calendar. And if you don't, we got a bazillion tips to help you do like schedule management, calendar management, because I obsess about that stuff. But really it's about, okay, what is on there and how do we start carving out some time, pushing some peas off of the plate so that I can invest more in me. And how do we do that? Step number one, get it out of your head, make it visible. After it's visible, after we can see it and count it, then we put it into the firebox. And the number one thing that I want you to think about, like every day for the next 5 years, is what are you optimizing for? Because so many people, including me, want to get better at time management and be more productive and be more efficient. And so we do all of these things. We buy time blocks and all kinds of gadgets to count time and track time, and we get efficient and we make things easier. And guess what happens? We fill that new time that we got with other garbage. And we're always on like the hamster wheel. We're in quicksand, getting efficient, and then more junk keeps falling in. The idea is if you get clear, or when you get clear about what you're optimizing for, and guess what? You figure that out when we're doing the future planning. What are you optimizing for? So that when you do get efficient, when you pick up some economies of scale or whatever, you give that newfound time to the important things that you have been neglecting, which is you. So get all the stuff out of our head, out of the calendar, out of all of our commitments, all the commitments that we make that we know we got to deliver on, that people are counting on us for, and we put those things in the firebox. First one, I, is invest focus here. What are the things? What am I optimizing for? What are the things I'm neglecting? Sleep, nutrition, exercise, super important, but we always deprioritize it. And guess what? You can only do that for so long, because if you deprioritize it for too long, then doctor's going to be telling you, okay, now you have to, and you don't have a choice anymore. And so anyways, we get all those things, we run it through the firebox. Very simple. Anything that lands in the F box, fire, finish those first, because you got to. They're committed, they're urgent and important. Anything that's in the I box, that's what you're optimizing for. Anything that's in the R box, we want to reduce that by automating, optimizing, delegating. And anything in the E box, we want to extinguish it, get rid of it. How do we outsource it? Have a conversation to minimize and get it off our list, or just straight up stop it. So I'm I'm triggering some people. Miss Angel, thank you, girl. She says, I'm feeling very called out right now. Sleep, girl. Go. Guess what? Then that means you are not alone. It's the two of us. Because number one thing, when I get overcommitted and get bite off more than I can chew, the first thing that I will always cut into is my sleep all the time. I'll just work all-nighters, get up earlier, go to bed later so I can crank and bang away and get those things done. The second thing is my nutrition. Instead of like doing healthy, nutritious food and being thoughtful about what I'm going to eat freaking double meat, double cheese Whataburgers, because if you don't know Whataburger, you gotta live it. And then the last thing is exercise, meaning I'm so damn exhausted, I don't even get out there and get any movement on and get any strength training in or whatever. And if you can't tell with this little extra layer of insulation I have, I've been neglecting my exercise for a long, long time, but I'm making some progress, right? I'm getting a little bit of tone there. So I'm not calling you guys out. This is more of a confession than it is a calling of people out. And Mr. Abbas, what's up, big dog? He says, value bomb's good. And thank you, man, because I want to kind of reinforce that in that you can sign up for the workshop. And it's going to be amazing. Like pinky promise, for real. I've had over 45 people sign up and like go through the torture, and it has impacted them in meaningful ways. Even a year later, there's still things that they're applying that have given them some clarity about where they spend their time and where they should be spending their time and all those wonderful things. But there are some key points that you don't need to sign up for the damn workshop to get. One, get the stuff out of your head. Two, you want to break up. When you sit down to plan, that's all you do is plan. when you go to schedule, that's all you do is schedule. And when you go to daily, like execute, that's all you do is it's just 3. Don't be code switching back and forth. That's where we lose all of our damn momentum. Oh, we got all the troublemakers here. My dog, Mike Chili Chow says, what's up from KC? You caught me. My sleep, there it is. My sleep and nutrition need some work. So thank you. So this is beautiful. If you have been struggling with taking care of yourself, right? Like if you cutting into your sleep, you're not getting the sleep that you need. If you're not being as physically active as you know you should be, and if your nutrition is fast food like me, like I promise, you can come and check my trash can, see how many white boxes I got from Uber Eats. That's the evidence. If you're struggling in those areas, I promise you, applying this methodology can help you get better. Better at what? Better at taking care of your damn self. And you know what? There is only one of you. And we need you. We need your gifts and talents out there so that we can make this industry, this world, leave it better than we found it. We can't do that if you ain't taking care of yourself. Like for real, for real. We got an idea coming up. I got you. Miss Angel says, or the Curious Idealist said, we need a new version of our old clubhouse days for the morning walks. Girl, we're going to talk about that here in a second. And so we've already talked about like future planning, talked about strategically selfish scheduling. And so now we're going to talk about daily execution. And so here is the daily execution. Again, in the workshop, we go through all of this. And you know what? Because y'all are so awesome. Oh, I got to change the view there. Nope, I don't want that view either. Which view do I go with? There, that's the better view. Now you just can't see my pretty face. So daily execution, there is a Daily Domination Board, which is a template. It's a tool that I use, like it's where I live. If I don't use this, my brain, my world gets all discombobulated. You can get this tool right now for free. There's a QR code right there. All you got to do is hit that dang QR code and it'll take you to a thing. You can do your email, sign up. You'll get the Daily Domination Board, which is a Trello template. There's little cards in there with instructions on how to set it up and how to get started. On the workshop, we go way deep on like the thinking behind daily domination or daily execution and setting up like super customizing this template to meet your needs, to fit your style of planning, your style of thinking, and you know, the particular work you got. Now, why is that interesting? You know, and it's come out through several people that have been through the workshop. Construction folks, of course, because I'm a construction freak. They're like, man, this is perfect for construction. And I'm saying, why is this perfect for construction? It's like, well, there's all these time management systems that work really well, except that in construction, it's very volatile. Every freaking day, it's wild. Like if you've never been out on a job site, and when I say construction, I'm talking about like on a job site. And of course, on the back office too, because you get a bid, you get an RFP, and they want you to start tomorrow. Guess what? That wasn't on your calendar, and you got to respond, and you want to get the work, and you want to take care of your client. So there's just a lot of variation that just comes and attacks our day every day. And this system, the planning, the scheduling, and the execution is designed for flexibility and adaptability. So you can adapt it and flex it to your day, and it fits very nicely. Now, yes, Mike, full confession. There is some scrummage built into the system, right? So if anybody that's familiar with Scrum, the Daily Domination Board, or if you're familiar with personal Kanban, it's those concepts, right? Not necessarily Scrum in its full out capacity and where we're doing sprints and we're tracking backlog. I mean, the thinking is there. Most importantly, all of this is not necessarily the tools, it's the thinking behind it that makes it awesome. That makes it so that you can make it work for you. Now, doing done, very easy. We talk about like the do's and don'ts there to have some super awesome execution and like maintain your credibility as a baller. The squirrel cage, that's a whole other thing. But basically, that's your distraction so that you can start learning for yourself and evaluating yourself. Like, what am I doing that What am I doing that is making my day difficult, that is getting in the way of me executing to the degree that I want to execute? And so anyways, that's the tool. One more time, you can just take out your phone, scan the QR code, or drop double D in the comments, and I'll text you or DM you the link or whatever. You will be able to get the Daily Domination Board, that template, totally free. Well, maybe not free, because I'm going to get your email address and I'm going to send you more emails, right? But you'll get the template and you can take it and do whatever you want with it. And then in the email sequence, you will get this template, the strategically selfish scheduling, free, right? And you can start putting, and you'll get the template for the guilt-free future planning. All you got to do, scan the QR code or drop double D in the comments. I'll give you that thing free, and then you'll be in my web, and I'll do my best to send you meaningful and value-added stuff, not just sales stuff, right? Oh my goodness, here we go. We got another comment coming in from LinkedIn user. LinkedIn user says, that's my brother Mike. Mr. Mike Sittenberg says, love it, Jesse. Bring lean thinking and planning to self-care. Brother, amen. Like that's exactly it. It's the principles and concepts that I've picked up. If any of you guys out there are lean psychopaths, my favorite way to do that is, how can I apply this thinking to me, to my life? And guess what? When I can do that, things are better in my life. I perform way better. I contribute way more. And more importantly, it gives me really deep context for like all the other training and services that I provide out there. There's a plug for my consulting business. All right, moving on. So another question, and I want you to I know we got some ballers out there. All of y'all are decision makers. You're department heads. You got senior authority out there. And you may be thinking like, oh my God, this is going to work for me, but I don't know about my people. But for real, I promise, it's pretty universal. Now, with the contingency that if you can tolerate my energy, if you can't tolerate my energy, you're not going to like this. If you do not enjoy learning in groups and learning from other people's questions and kind of working through actually working through, because in the workshop, I'm not just describing it. You are building your self-management plan live with other people watching. And so if you're not okay with that, don't sign up. Like for real, don't sign up. If you're expecting somebody to just come and talk at you like I'm doing right now, do not sign up for the workshop. And now, who should sign up for the workshop? These people, climbers. So when it comes to like overcoming the mountain of time, it is a mountain and it's a pain in the butt. And I wish I could say like I got it 100% figured out, but I don't. What I do have is a set of tools, mental models, and frameworks that help me continue climbing that mountain of time. Now, early in my career, I was a climber, right? I was early in my role. I was eager. And man, I was ambitious and I was going to go get it. Ain't nobody going to outwork me. I'm going to be the guy. I'm the guy. And guess what happened? Burnout, right? Like it was difficult to maintain that approach. And so if you know anybody out there that's a climber, they're early on and eager and really pushing and hustling, but man, they're going 1,000 miles an hour and they're forgetting to build the habits of really, really taking care of themselves. This is good for them. This will help them. Now, some of us are Sherpas, right? I've been in that Sherpa where you carry everyone else's load. You take on extra responsibilities. You always kind of get voluntold to be a part of this committee or this new effort or this new thing. And you continue. You take care of things at home. You take care of things for the family. You're the go-to person all the time, which is a beautiful thing because people trust you and respect you. But it gets in the way of you taking care of yourself. And that is no bueno, because that is an unsustainable situation. You have to carve out time for yourself. So if you're a Sherpa and you have that kind of situation going on, guess what? The self-first framework is magic for you. Now, some of us are the salty summiters, right? Or maybe me. And you know what's funny is I've been all of these, right? So the salty summiter, I had goals. I had massive career goals. I wanted to be a superintendent. I wanted to be a production manager. I wanted to develop training and development. I wanted to do all of these things. I wanted to get the promotion, the raises. I wanted to get the big, giant, sexy project. I got there, and then I'm like, is this it? Like, this is not what I expected. I sacrificed a lot to get all these shiny, buzzy, whistly things, and I don't have the fulfillment. And so if you're in that situation where you've been hustling and working hard, and you keep getting the accolades, the promotions, and all of those things, and you find yourself looking around and saying, what the hell, man? What's the point? You need more. You want like some legacy, some fulfillment. You want to have a lasting impact on other people. But because of what, like the methodology you designed to get to where you're at, you need a different way. Guess what? We can help you with that so that you can start designing your life around fulfillment instead of accomplishment and achievement. Not that those things are bad, but some of us are at that phase in our life. And then lastly, there's the Highlanders. There can be only one. It's like, okay, I'm good. And I don't know a bunch of people, but I know a few people that are like, you know what? I've accomplished the things I want to accomplish, and now it's time to contribute. It's time to give back and help people. It's time to make this, put all my knowledge, experience, my network, everything into practice, and apply that towards making this industry better for everybody. If you're in that phase, guess what? The system works for you. Now, so if you're a climber, a Sherpa, a salty summiter, a Highlander, guess what? All of those, this will help you. And if you know people that fit those descriptions, give them the link, send them my way, because I promise it's going to be super, it will help them. Now, Mr. Chili Chow says, double D. All right, brother, I'm going to hook you up with the link. He says, do the damn thing. Totally need to be more intentional in life outside of the work hours. Amen, man. Helps us be our best so we can bless, amen, our communities and industries needs it 100%. And actually, Mike, you bring up a good point, because a lot of times people are like, man, but you don't understand, my life's not like yours. You get to do whatever you want. Like, yeah, you're right. And so like when I had a regular, like a real job, like normal people, like healthy people, I didn't have a lot of control of what I did between work hours. But guess what? I did have a lot of control on my off work hours. And so this system, if you're kind of like, yeah, I don't know, I can't really change my day because of my job. I get it, man. I've been there. This system, this methodology can be totally applied to the bookends of your workday, your weekends, right? After hours, during lunch, in the morning, whatever that needs to be, so that you can start building, like start stretching that bandwidth and invest in yourself and take better care of yourself. Now, I'm talking a lot about, exercise and nutrition and sleep, because those are pretty basic, but super freaking important. But it's also about working on the projects and dreams and aspirations that you've had. Like, it's also about investing in who you got, investing in yourself, developing your skills and capabilities, stretching your comfort zone, like all those sorts of things need to happen. Or rather, I'll say it this way. When those things happen, you are better equipped to serve the person in front of you. You become a better version of yourself. And that is the whole point. But we have to learn how to put ourselves first. And guess what? There's not a lot of training for that. But there's this super cool little system that I got that can help you do that. All right. What have we gotten? Oh, and I'm talking and flapping my gums up here. But guess what? I am not the only one that's been through it. There are some like amazing ballers that have. So here's a little bit of proof. Miss Megan Shapiro, super amazing construction attorney. She says the biggest value was the mind shift. It wasn't about the tools. It was about approaching time management differently. Ding, ding. Then we got my brother, Mr. Craig. Mr. Craig Lair said, I want to get the most out of every day. This workshop gave me the tools to do that. And then lastly, my sister, Miss Jennifer Lacey, says, it forced me to stop and break things down into smaller components. So if you don't believe me, like, ask them. There's a whole bunch of other people that have been through the thing and they have similar things. I just picked those because I had pictures of them. But like for real, they've been through it. There's no lie. I'm not making this up. And actually, they went through like the first iteration of it, which, I was kind of testing it. And based on their feedback and the whole experience of everybody that was involved, I got to polish out some of the rough spots. And so when you sign up for the workshop, for the ones that are coming up, you're going to have like a more streamlined, easier experience because I've massaged out, or they've helped me massage out some of the rough spots where people, like where it was confusing for folks or where I would lose people. And so now it's like super, super smooth. And so did I mention that this is all about a workshop that's coming up in a couple of weeks? So here is the full experience. There's the workshop kickoff. It is a 4-hour virtual workshop, meaning we'll be on Teams. I think I've got it set up for Teams. There's a maximum of 16 people per session, because any more than 16, it robs us of the opportunity to ask questions. And I want to be able to answer everybody's question and walk everybody through all the little elements, because like I said, you're going to be building your own specialized, customized, personalized planning system. And so I want to keep the groups nice and tight so that we can actually like work through it together as a group. So that's the kickoff. 4 hours of that. Of course, there's breaks in there. I might need y'all to remind me because I get going and I forget to stop. Now, after the workshop, and this is by popular demand because I didn't have this built into the first one, there's a series of support and accountability calls, because people went to the workshop and they're like, Jess, that was great, but I know me, I'm going to go back to reality, and I'm going to stop doing it. Like, how do we handle that? I was like, oh, that's a duh. Well, what if we set up a series of calls? Yeah, I love it. And so the support and about accountability calls that came from customer request, back to that lean thing, right? What is a customer value? And so we have 4 different calls. So we do the workshop 4 hours. After the workshop, every 2 weeks, we're going to have a call. It's about 90 minutes. And the first one is going to be focused on distraction detox. What are the things that are distracting? What are the methods, systems, ways to manage that, and answer anybody's questions on daily execution? Call number 2, same thing. We're going to focus on daily execution, because that's where you start getting more momentum and start really learning about where to like clear things off your plate so that you can invest your time on the most valuable and impactful things. The third call is schedule management. We're talking about managing your calendar, tips and tricks, techniques, cheat codes on how to manage your calendar, and like, don't tell anybody. It's really more about how do you get crap off of your calendar. And I got a lot of cheat codes for that. And then lastly, the fourth call is focused on status check on long-term goals, because guess what? When we do the workshop, your long-term goals are going to be displayed. And because life does what it does, we want to come back and say, okay, where are you on that? How much has it changed? What did you learn? How much progress have you made? And here's a beautiful thing. Like for me on those calls, the support and accountability calls, I pick up tips from the people that are on there. Stephanie, she had a couple of things that like, oh my God, I'm going to use that. Like it's totally, totally valuable. And it's helped kind of shift and improve my game as well. So we get to learn from a bunch of ballers together. Now, the other element, in Angel, this may be answering your question or your idea earlier where you said, we need a new version of our old Clubhouse days for the morning walks. Because we used to, like, I don't know if it was a couple days a week, when Clubhouse was a thing, we would all jump on a call and catch up and whatever. And so here's my response to that. It is the Make It Happeners online community. And so when you sign up for the workshop, you get the whole thing, right? It's a 4-hour workshop. We're going to be twisting brains and having fun. Then you're going to have the support and accountability calls. And you also become a part of the Make It Happeners online community. So it's like an exclusive online community just for Make It Happeners. And it kind of functions like social media. You can post pictures, post videos, support each other, cheer each other on. I post a challenge every so often, something to think about. But more importantly, it's so that we as a group, as a community, can continue to support each other. And if you need help, or if you're stuck in a particular thing, throw it in the chat with that community that have all been through this, so that we can keep that ball rolling. Because, that's the thing about time and self-management, is it's a little bit easier when we do it as a group. Okay. Now, you're probably saying like, okay, when are we going to do it? You keep talking about it. So here's the deal, y'all. I've got 3 dates right now. Saturday, December 27th, Sunday, December 28th, and Monday, December 29th. I've got 3 workshops. I got time blocked out for these 3 workshops. And I'll tell you right now, the Monday session, there's only 9 spots left. The 27th and 28th, they're still open. And so if you want, get your seat, secure your seat now. There's another super fancy little QR code down there. You can scan that QR code. It'll take you to the link, and you sign up, get your credit card, all of that. Now, I haven't mentioned that this is not a free experience. It's $250, which, that's not free. That's not cheap. But in terms of the return or the gain that you stand to get from being a part of this whole entire experience, I think that $250 is super, super cheap. And here's another cheat code. A lot of y'all work for big, gigantic firms. Sign up and expense the thing for professional development, or bring a team and have everybody go through this. Because I know some people that can benefit from some time management stuff. But again, I want to repeat, the Saturday, December 27th, Sunday, December 28th, and Monday, December 29th. We've got the workshop, like the details around the time and all of that stuff. When you go to when you go and select your session, you'll get those details. They start at different times. And the reason I don't want to say them is because Central Time, and I know some of you are Mountain Time, Pacific Time, Eastern Time, all of that. I get it. And I don't want to do the math because I always get twisted up on that. Now, Miss Angel says the title isn't quite as catchy as the Tacos and Tequila Room. I agree, but it sounds like a great community. It is. And we got some awesome people. The Archers are in there. Craig is in there. We got a bunch of people that are part of that community, and it just keeps the momentum. It's nice to know we're not suffering all alone. And so closing thought is here. Why do I do this? Why do I even care about it? One is because I know that we can live our life by design. I know it took a lot of effort for me to figure out how to design the life I wanted. And more importantly, since I have designed the life that I want, I am better equipped to leave this world better than I found it, because I am making myself a priority more than I used to. I'm investing in myself. And by doing so, I am better equipped to serve the people in front of me. And I want to serve them. I want to serve you so that you can share your gift and talents to leave this world better than you found it. So hit me up. If you got questions, drop them in the comment. If you're watching the replay, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. There were the QR codes. If you missed them, just drop double D in the comments, and that'll get the ball rolling so you can get access to all of the things. So spread the word, be kind to yourself, be cool, and we'll talk at you next time.